The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the November 4th, the fantastic Friday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. And let's make sure we have an extraordinary one and an extraordinary weekend. And the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I. I just totally lost my train of thought here as I looked off the side. But what was I talking about? Well, I'll tell you what I was talking about. I would, if I wasn't, this is what I'm going to talk about. I would love to hear from you. So you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. Now, if you can't give us a call, you can always send me an email. You can send that to Steve at TFNN.com. And inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, inside our Tiger's Den, well, any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Fantastic Friday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show right now. A sea of green out there. All the sectors in the S&P are trading the upside. All the U.S. indices that we track are trading the upside. Most commodities are trading to the upside. Not everything is trading the upside. We've got a few things trading the downside. For example, Cable One is up $97. That's 12%. Atlassian Corp is up $51, 29%. Huadi International Group is down 47% or $49. Twilio's down 23. Syneos Health is off 22. Those are 47 and 35%. We've got some shakers to the downside. That is for sure. Now, you've got the Dow at 483. That's 1.5%. 1.5 basically for the S&P or 54 points. 1 3/10 for the NASDAQ, 100, 141. 24 points for the Russell, 1 3/10. 4% for the semis, 89 points. Big rally. Gold, $44, 2 7/10%. Silver's up 6%, $1.19. Trade out at 26.02. 4% move. More light sweet crude up 358. 91.75 is the print there. 10 cents for natural gas. Trading out at 6.02, and the 30-year Treasury is down 19 ticks. She trading out at 119.23. So let's begin by taking a look at the NASDAQ 100, the week link out here. We'll go switch. Well, let's do this first. Let's stay on this page here. Let's take a look at the market breadth. Here's the market breadth for the 30-minute time frame. It's getting pretty close here. You got 35 above, 31 below. When I say above and below, I'm referring to above the top of the profile. That would be resistance. If you trade above resistance, for our purposes, we consider that to be a bullish outcome. Trade below support, that would be the bottom. That would be considered a bearish outcome. So slightly bullish on a 30-minute time frame there. We'll have to take a look at that 30-minute chart to understand what it's signaling to you, and I will do that momentarily. Let's take a look at the other four time frames here for the NQ. And here, you've got the 60-minute and 240 are bullish. Daily and weekly are bearish out here. So it still could be or still should be a choppy market. So let's go take a look at the intraday charts, or just simply the charts for the NQ. We'll switch over and take a look at our multi-panel set of charts out there. Give me a moment here. We'll get over there. And in the upper left-hand corner, you've got the daily time frame chart. Now, been a nice rally, but all that the rally inside the NQ has done is got itself up to that red oscillator and change line. A red oscillator and change line tells you and I that the price oscillator is below zero. When price is below a red line, that tells us we have a falling price oscillator below zero. Those are not bullish conditions. It could change if price closes above the top of that oscillator and change line, but right now that has not happened. Now, where it's printing at, it'll be different, in the next half hour, next couple of minutes. But where it's printing right now is 10,975. So use that as a guideline as the market closes today. On a 5-hour time frame chart, we can see that price has found resistance at its red oscillator and change line as well as at the top of its profile at 10,999. In the 4-hour time frame chart, price found resistance at 10,905. That's the top of its profile out there. 10,909 on the 120-minute chart. So we're not really seeing breakout messages. The 30-minute chart, price found resistance at 10,963. Now, what that did was it took price right back to support. That's that green oscillator and change line. That's currently printed at 10,847. So, Stevie, give me a prognosis for the NQ for at least the next 49 minutes when you're on the air. Well, I don't have really a good prognosis here. We know that we know where resistance is at, and we'll just simply make it pretty easy in that daily red oscillator and change line at the 10,973 level. If price can close above that, then we might have some movement to the upside. Let's go to our first caller. It's Brent in Martinez, California. Brent, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great, Steve. I'm just on my way down from my hike this morning. Thought I'd give you a call.
Okay, perfect. Make sure you keep paying attention to where you're walking.
I won't trip over my own 2 feet. I'll try not to anyway.
Perfect. At least not while we're on the air. Oh, great. So you want to take a look at GFI Goldfields out there. Tell me what you're looking for, how I can best help you.
Well, I bought into this yesterday, but I didn't really. I only went in with a partial position because it was coming down to that 703 and it had greater volume. So I was a little tentative about piling in. I just wanted to at least start something there. And then my plan was to actually see what it was doing this morning, if it might go down and do that test. Well, of course, it just took off the other way. So
yes.
I'd like to just take a look and see what levels, to the upside. Well, both directions really to be watching.
Yeah, so Brent, I don't know. I haven't looked to see on a news basis what is going on inside of Goldfields. But if you think there was volume yesterday, it's only 11:13. We haven't traded for 2 full hours. It's done 29 million shares today. 29 million. So again, yesterday you thought it had big volume, which it did. It had bigger accelerated volume, 12 million shares. We're already at 29 million shares at 11:13. Now, that big volume has taken price right up into resistance. The resistance level, it's unique this time. It's the exact same from a profile standpoint, Brent, on the daily and the weekly. So this has, Goldfields that is, very strong resistance at 893. That's the price level that you are looking for this to close above. And if we take a look at this week's action, that's the center chart, folks, that you're looking at, you can see that Goldfields has done a round trip. And that round trip is from the bottom of that profile at 730 all the way up to the top at 893. So right now, I'd have to say, Brent, all we really have inside of Goldfields is a consolidating marketplace. But if price can close above 893, and based upon today's volume, and I don't know what the cause of that was. I don't see anything. Oh, it's acquiring AUI, Yamana.
Yeah, Yamana. Yeah,
got it. Okay,
exactly.
Okay. Well, hey, it's acquiring Yamana, and that's not been a detriment to its stock price, that's for sure. But so 893 is really the key level, and Yamana's up 18%. Now that would make sense, but Goldfields looking very good. But 893, that's the only figure that you've got to really pay attention to the upside.
All right, thank you very much. You have a great weekend.
You bet. Thanks for calling me on your hike. That's Brent in Martinez, California. Folks, I'd love to hear from you as well. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back, folks. All the U.S. indices trade the upside. Dow's up 432, 1 3/10. The NASDAQ is up 1 3/10 as well. That's 142 points. For Peter, inside the Tiger's Den, we're taking a look at the U.S. dollar index out here. Now, here's our multi-time frame set of charts. We look at the monthly time frame out here. Peter, there's no topping pattern in place at all from a monthly standpoint. This suggests that the dollar wants to continue to move higher. Now, the weekly chart does have a confirmed Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. It was confirmed a couple of weeks ago when it formed that bear sash candle. We can see that the rally this week and last week both got up to their oscillator and change line levels and closed below. So that still opens up the door for a potential move in the U.S. dollar index down to 105.43. Will that impact the monthly chart for the U.S. dollar index? No, all that would do is take price back to its green oscillator and change line, where I would expect and anticipate, if we get that type of retracement, where it would find support. The daily time frame, you'll see that this had confirmed a buy the D point pattern. It does that on October 27th when it generates that bullish piercing candle. Then what transpires is price makes its way all the way up. Let's just simply expand out the chart here, make it a little bit easier for everybody to see. Pull this back just a tad. Then all the price was able to do here, Peter, is get up to the top of its daily profile at the 112.94 level. Now, price is below green oscillator and change line, and I would say if it closes below the center of its profile, and the center is at 111.15, that really opens up the door for price to test the bottom of the profile, 109.81. So I'd say based upon the weekly chart and the daily chart, that seems like a more likely outcome than anything else at the moment. But today's close will be the important element here. On a 30-minute basis, I don't have any kind of a bottom signal. Maybe there's an A to B equals CD to the downside. Yeah, most certainly there is. And that's being confirmed as we speak right now. If this bar in the next 10 minutes holds its bullish condition, it is right now a bullish engulfing candle, it should be able to do that. That would suggest that the U.S. dollar index should, in fact, bounce up to the 111 area. Well, if the U.S. dollar index is going to bounce to 111, then you could likely see the equity markets pull back as well out there for a bit. So that's what the 30-minute chart for the U.S. dollar is showing us. No bottom signal on the 60-minute chart. You do have a TD9 count bottom on the 2-hour time frame chart. This candle here, so this pattern will complete at, I believe it's 2 o'clock, but let me just make sure. Maybe it's noon. Give me a moment here. Noon it is. So the cool thing about that, Peter, is if price closes below that low, That low currently is at 110.82. That's going to tell us about a further move back inside the U.S. dollar index. Now, the question is, will it find support? If that happens, will it find support at 110.50? If that doesn't happen, it's just simply supporting what we're looking at on a 30-minute chart here of a bounce up into its oscillator and change line. Nothing to help us out on the 240 and nothing really to help us out on the 5-hour time frame chart. So that's the U.S. dollar index in its multi-time frame set of charts out there. If we take a look at the U.S. dollar index and the other currencies that are impacting it, well, one would be the euro. So if we take a look at the euro, very much like the U.S. dollar, just the opposite, the euro went ahead and created a sell the D-point pattern. Now, that took price lower. I don't have profiles for the euro out here. I would for the futures contract for the euro, but I don't have it for the actual currency pair. Doesn't really matter at this stage because right now, if price closes above 0.984, that's its red oscillator and change line, that suggests that price could be retargeting its recent highs out there, and that's up at the 1.009 level. If we take a look at the Japanese yen, this has a sell the D point pattern. That was that big key reversal bar. As long as price remains below its green oscillator and change line, the yen could target 143.53. It looked like, and it still may be the case for the Great British Pound, which formed a nice TD9 count bottom out there. It formed a buy the D point bottom. It looked like, and it still may do this, form an A to B equals CD to the upside. I don't have a real topping signal out here, but price did yesterday crush right through its red oscillator and change line, and today that is acting as resistance. So if price remains below 1.13 or closes below 1.13 today, that could at least signal a move back to its bullish engulfing candle that created a potential C point of the A to B equals CD pattern, and that would be between 109 and 111. The loonie out here, the loonie looks like it wants to go target 129. That's a TD9 count breakout area. The Swiss Corona looks like this wants to target 1067 with price below its oscillator and change line. In the case of the Swiss franc out there, it also looks like this wants to target its recent lows. That would take us back into the 1027 period, and that would be between 98 cents and 99.27. So, Peter, I hope that helps you out with regard to the euro and the U.S. dollar index. Out there, if there was more that you needed from the euro, let me know, and we'll figure out a way to try to squeeze that in. But hopefully that provided you with the information that you were looking for. You had a third request out there, and so that's going to take us back to our black background charts, and that was Peter wanted to take a look at the advanced decline oscillator for the New York Stock Exchange. So we'll get that up on our screen here momentarily, and boom, voila, there it is. So right now, the New York Stock Exchange Advanced Decline Oscillator, that would be panel number 2, folks. And what that is the advanced decline line. So you take that, and I can put the advanced decline line up here. I won't right now. But you take that data, and then you look at the difference between the 39 and the 19 period exponential moving average of the advanced decline line. That will give you advanced decline oscillator. Whew, that's a mouthful. Now, it's in the oversold area. Anything up above 150, anything around 150 is in the oversold area. So there's nothing bearish here, nothing bearish at the moment when we take a look at that. So it's not really providing us with a ton. What it does provide us with is when price closes above the plus 150 area, it's not immediately, but it tells us about eventually seeing higher highs out there. And ever since the top that came in, back at the end of December, early January, inside of the New York Stock Exchange, we've seen 1, 2, 3. This could be the fourth occasion. This is the fourth occasion above that plus 150 level. So this is telling us longer term, we should not be surprised. Longer term, not talking about shorter term, we should not be surprised to see the New York Stock Exchange be able to make higher highs out there, probably take out its all-time high. But that's not saying that we're ready for prime time right here, right now. So, Peter, that's your 3-4. I hope that helps you out. Again, if you need something else, please let me know. We've got another request out here. This one coming in from Izel, I believe it is. If I mispronounced it, my apology. Maybe the next time you write in, just kind of give me the emphasis as to the pronunciation. I'll try not to screw it up. But your request out there was to take a look at ticker symbol MGNX. So let me, as we're on the black background screens, let me get those going here. MGNX, we'll take a look at that. And MGNX is Macrogenics Inc. The question is, Happy Sailing Friday. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But it could be Fishing Friday, if you don't mind. You know, we need a fresh catch of the day out here for dinner tonight. But MGNX, macrogenics, the question is analysis, its potential battles. Perfect. So great question out there. So the potential battle, wow, we're not going to find it on the black background charts. Let me get that fired up here on the white background charts. And the reason is, I'll find you a battleground. But right now, this is trading above the top of the daily, above the top of the weekly, and above the top of the monthly profile out there. The A to B equals CD pattern, that's easy for us to draw in. I'll do that on the weekly time frame chart, the A point being the June 13th low, the B point being the August 8th high, and the C point looks like it was a low from September the 19th out there. Oh, that didn't work. Nice job there, Steve-O. See if I get this A to B equals CD pattern here rolling to see where the one-to-one price projection level. Well, we're right at it right now at 621. The high so far this week has been 615. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be back in just a moment.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Dow's up 275, S&P's up 30, NASDAQ 188 points right now. So we've seen a bit of those gains being given back out there. Kind of matches really the discussion that we just had during that last segment out there. Let's take a look. We had a couple more requests that have come in. We were taking a look at for ISEL or ISEL, MGNX, and the question was, where's the next battleground? Well, when we switch over to those white background charts, that's pretty easy to identify. That's going to be the monthly oscillator and change line. Now that's currently printed out at 667. That'll change as price moves up or down, but that is really your next battle as long as price remains above the top of the daily profile, the weekly profile, and the monthly profile, which it is. Now if price can clear 667, then your next battleground would be 883. Let us not forget, though, when we took a look at, before we went to that break, we took a look at the A to B equals CD pattern. That's completing on a daily and a weekly time frame out there. So just be on watch for a bearish reversal candle. If you get a bearish reversal candle, then what that's going to trigger is a sell the D point pattern. And then what we would think is that price would then pull back to its oscillator and change line for the daily time frame. We're not there yet. I'm just giving you something to pay attention to. But right now, and as long as no bearish reversal candle forms, then you're off to 667, and above that, you're off to the 883 level. So thank you so much for writing in. Much appreciated, and have a fantastic weekend and a fantastic Friday. We've got a couple questions that have come in through the Tiger's Den. One is from SNP. SNP wants to take a look at SEDG. SEDG is the ticker symbol. So let's get that fired up there. I know I should, I think that's Solar Edge, if I'm not mistaken, SEDG. And I think the question was just really to take a look at it. So as we take a look at Solar Edge right now, trading lower on the day, so on a day where markets are moving higher, what is this doing? Which is really a great question out here. What is it doing? Well, it's really just back and just been kind of consolidated with inside its daily profile. It's kind of hard to visually see here, so I may just switch over to the black background charts. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So let's just switch over there. I think it's easier, S&P, for you to be able to see that. You'll be able to capture that screen if you're inside the Tiger's Den, if you would like. And here what you'll see is the top of that profile is at 234.74, and the bottom's at 218.26. Now, we're trading just below that. But really what you would need in order to signal that this is going to move lower, in my opinion at this stage here, is a close below yesterday's low. 215.99. If price can close below yesterday's low, then likely what we'll see is a move back to its oscillator and change line. Now, we don't show that in the black background charts, so let me give you that number. That's currently at 207.94. On a weekly basis, prices run into resistance, the top of that weekly profile, 230.40. The bottom is 203.57. So if price did close below yesterday's low, again, that low out there is 215.99, then its signal to us, S&P, would be a pullback to the 203.57 level. That's if it were to move below the daily oscillator and change line. So those are the levels that I'd be watching out there. By the way, resistance, if price was able to close above the top of its daily profile, 234.74, then you take a look at a run up to 251.87. So S&P, I hope that provides you with the information that you were looking for as well. If not, you know how to reach me. Just ping me inside the Tiger's Den. Maddie wants to take a look at the XLF. Let's get those charts up here on our screen. We'll stay on the black background screens for the moment. And the question was, I believe, something to the effect of, will it go south? That is the XLF. Well, if the XLF is going to go south, what it at least needs to do is take out support. And the first level of support that it would need to take out, Matt, would be 32.98, the bottom of its daily profile out there. Profile-wise, price has got resistance, and that's up at the top of its bearish structured profile, and that's at 34.20. So far this week, that is held. But a close above 34.37, that would be bullish outcome from the weekly chart. That would be a bullish outcome from the daily time frame chart as well. What else do we have out here? What else on the monthly chart? So let's just switch over to the white background charts. We'll see if there's any information, any morsels of information that we can provide Matt inside the Tiger's Den. So here's the daily, weekly, and monthly chart. So yesterday's pullback. So there's no top out here, no topping pattern. Now, one could argue that yesterday's gap to the downside completed a sell the D point pattern. So I'd go with you there. But what price also did was it really just pulled back, in essence, to its green oscillator and change line. Remember, a green oscillator and change line, from a momentum standpoint, tells us we have a rising price oscillator above zero, and those are simply bullish conditions. Now, I say they're bullish conditions, and I mean they're bullish conditions, but there's still a battle. And that battle's up at that 34.37 level out there. But I don't see anything here that is super-duper negative, or we're going to talk in Barney language out there. On a weekly basis, you got nice bottom there with wave number 7. That is letter G, so that's a beautiful thing. No bottom signal on the monthly time frame, but price has held its monthly profile 31.50 out there. So that's what I see when I take a look at the XLF. And so I will have to say, Matt, no, I don't see this going south. It is not that it can't. It just has not provided us with a signal as we speak right now to suggest that that is what it is likely to do. So I do hope that helps you out. I had mentioned earlier, we saw that nice run in Goldilocks out there. And so let me get these charts here. Was on the white background? Yeah. I had to close these down in order to go take a look at the U.S. dollar index. I had to change a few things to do that. But let's go ahead and get the gold. This is not even the... Okay, well, so that's okay. I needed to get this populated anyways. You know what? I do have a set of charts out here for gold, silver, and the GDX. So let me actually get those fired up. I think that's the best thing for us to talk about. So let's get those fired up. And so the issue with regard to gold, I'm just telling you right now, is going to be its weekly oscillator and change line. So I'm going to open up that chart right now. Here's our December contract. You can see a nice A to B equals CD to the downside. So it's already confirmed a buy the D point pattern. It did that the week of September 30th, and it looks like it's going to do that again this week. Those are the bullish reversal candles. What gold has not been able to do since April 22nd is close above its oscillator and change line. There was an attempt. This was back here on August 12th. It looked like, okay, gold was ready to take off. I mean, after all, this had closed above the top of its daily profile. That's why these oscillator and change line are such cool tools. And then we saw another couple rallies here. This one I attempted. I attempted the rally off of the September 30th. Now, this is a weekly chart, so I'm not saying it was September 30th. And what price did was ran right into resistance at that oscillator and change line. So Stevie's kind of saying to himself, okay, I made that mistake once. I won't make it again. Would I suggest right now that you jump into a long GDX trade? No, not right now. Why? Because gold needs to prove itself to us. You and I both know about the directional correlation between gold and the mining stocks out there. And so gold, in order to prove itself, and it may do it by day's end. It's only 11:37, but you can see how prices stopped right here. Why did it stop right there? Why does it stop at that red oscillator and change line? Great question. I don't know the answer, just like I don't know how electricity works, but I use it all the time, and it works. Same thing with the oscillator and change line. So that oscillator and change line right now is printed at 1675. We're trading at 1674.70. Now, if it closes above it by 10 cents or 20 cents, is that going to blow my skirt up? Heck no. But it would be a pretty good indication, though, that we may be seeing a change in trend inside of Goldilocks. Now, when we take a look at the daily time frame, if we're going to see a change in trend as well, price needs to close above 1682.10. That is the top of its daily profile. Then it would have a battle at 1707 and 1742. Now, silver actually has an A to B equals CD to the upside. It's taking out its B point. I'll presume it's a nice wide-ranging bar. It looks like it is with volume out here. And price should find resistance at 2087. And above 2087, then we're looking at is 2102. The GDX. In order for the GDX to really tell you and I that this thing has changed trend, you need to see it close above 2543. That's its beautiful TD9 count breakdown area out there, and I'd love to teach you that pattern as well. Just sign up for Mastering Probability. You can do it for 29 days. Cost you Zippo, and you'll get an education of a lifetime. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. So gold still hasn't proven itself to us. Silver at a nice A to B equals C to the upside. We'll be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. So what you doing this weekend? Hey, if you live in the Tampa, Clearwater area, I know that Brian Culbertson is playing there tonight. I went to see his show last night. If you like jazz, R&B, he's a great performer. It's a long show. I mean, it takes intermission. It is well worth it. It is great music. The musicians that he's traveling with this time around, they're all great. A couple of those guys have got some #1 top 10 Billboard hits as well. So just some great, if you're in that area, I'd recommend going to see that show. Other than that, let's get back to the markets out here. Dan, inside the Tiger's Den, he wanted to take a look at ARWR out here. That is a pharma company that is, I think it's Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals. And Dan, as we take a look at this, it formed a nice TD9 count bottom all the way back here on September 26th. And basically that's led to a consolidation, in essence, within its profile. Price did clear the top of that profile on October 28th, but it gave it back the very next day. A new profile has formed, and this profile here, Dan, wraps around the prior profile. So the bottom here right now is at 31.51. The old one was at around 32.31. The old top of that profile is at 35.07-ish area. The new one is at 36.38. This tells us, from a profile standpoint, the message here is that this wants to continue to consolidate. That is the sign of a consolidation pattern out there. On a weekly time frame, that consolidation could extend itself up to the 40.33 level, the top of the weekly profile. And your real resistance out here looks like it might be the weekly or the monthly oscillator and change line, and that right now is up at the price level of about 46.50. So it looks like a good old-fashioned consolidation in ARWR. Dan, I hope that helps you out. Thanks much for the reminder on taking a look at that chart for me. Alton writes in, and Alton wants to take a look at, can you please take a look at BABA? BABA is the ticker symbol out there, Alibaba. We most certainly can. He says, nice pop today. And have a great day. You have a great day, too, and thanks so much for taking the time to write in and ask about Alibaba, which is trying to close above the top of its daily profile. Alton, it would pull that off with a close above 68.33. If we get that, you could, if you get a close above 69.80, and you can do it with more than 53 million shares. Today, volume on it so far is 29 million shares, so most certainly could do that. If price can close above 69.80, you then have an A to B equals CD to the upside. The approximation for the 1-to-1 level out there, again, I'm just using an approximation tool. I'm just drawing a line here and moving it. The 1-to-1 would take us up into about the 74-ish type area out there. The real key on Alibaba out here, Alton, is just like we took a look at gold, is the oscillator and change line. So you got a nice TD9 count and Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom for the weekly time frame. You had wave number 7 on the daily time frame, so you do have some nice bottom patterns out there. What you're really looking for is if price can close above that weekly oscillator and change line, currently printed at the 70-40-ish area out there, then that would be then we likely see the fruition of that A to B equals CD to the upside, maybe more than a 1-to-1 move out there. And the next area of resistance, I would say, would be at about the 94.21 level. And that's the monthly oscillator unchanged line. Now, the monthly chart looks basically horrible. The daily and the weekly have given you some bottom signals. So now the question is, can price take out resistance? If it does, that'll improve the outlook on the monthly time frame. So let's call it that 70-41 level that you're looking for price to close above. So have a great weekend. Thanks so much for writing in. We'll hopefully hear from you next week as well. By the way, Monday, I will not be able to do my show. I'll be traveling back. I'll be out of town. And but Basil may decide. He sent me a message, said he might do a twofer out there. So what a trooper he is. But I'll be back to normal programming on Tuesday. Nicholas writes in, says, good morning, Steve. Happy Friday to you. Back at you. Would you please go over Apple and Tesla? Apple for sure. In fact, Apple, we had a couple of guys, our denters, pointed out that Apple is actually going after its swing low, and it's doing it with volume. It's going to get down there. The question is it going to take it out? If it does take it out, where's it headed to? Price that is, and I'd have to say 123.13. But as we take a look at the Apple out here, this is confirmed a sell the D point pattern. You can see the A to B equals CD out there, and then you had that bearish engulfing candle that formed to confirm that pattern on November 11th. Now, price yesterday closed below the bottom of its new profile out there. It's below its red oscillator and change line, and it's moving back with volume. We're going to switch over to the black background charts, just easier for everybody to see the volumes and what we're taking a look at out here than it is on these white charts. So here, what we'll see is the candle session for its swing low that we're looking at on a daily time frame was the day of October 13th. Volume there, 113 million shares. If you look over to the right, we're basically a little over 2 hours of trading and 60 million shares. All I do is take 60 million, multiply it times 3. That gives us 180 million shares versus 113. All it really needs to do is just do a double, in the next 4.5 hours of trading, basically 4 hours and 15 minutes. Seems like it could do that. So price should go target that low, 134.37 out there. It could actually take it out. What happens if it takes it out? Well, before I would go drawing a new A to B equals CD to the downside pattern, which we most certainly can do, what I would say is, what's it doing on a weekly basis? That's what Stevie would say. So on a weekly basis, the swing point was from the week of June 13th. And that swing point had 541 million shares. You're at 432 today. You could easily do another 100 million shares. So 432, that gives it, man, you could be moving into that swing point with volume. That would then suggest looks like you're going to close inside there. So then that says that the next downside target for Apple would be that low, and that low is 129.04. And then below that, I mentioned to you earlier when we were on the white background charts, the monthly TD9 count breakout level is at 123.13. So Apple not helping out the Dow or the NASDAQ 100. You also wanted to take a look at Tesla. So let's get Tesla up on our screens out here, TSLA. I'll leave that on the black background screen for the moment. TSLA is doing what? It is simply consolidating with inside its daily profile out there. And Nicholas, that's between the range of 208.20 to 228.40. And really what we would do is, because price was able to spike above the November 1st, was able to spike above the top of its profile. If price could close above that 228.41, the battle would be at 244.67. Support is held this week. That's the bottom of that new profile, and that's at the 210.11 area. Monthly support held last month out there. That's a bullish structured profile. So it's got a nice setup for bottom signals. And what I know, and what I believe you know as well, is that this bar right here, and this bar is on October 21st. That bar was a bullish engulfing candle that confirmed a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. What you also know is that this bar right here, Stevie likes to go to the bars, that's for sure. And that would be the low of October 14th. That was a TD9 count bottom out there. Both those patterns have held until they fail. The signal here from Tesla is that it wants to move higher. But right now it's dealing with that consolidation, and that's between 208.20 and 228.41 is what we'll call it. David writes in, he wants to take a look at CMG. This is David in Panama City. Chipotle is less than $50 away to filling the gap at 1327. And you've got, looks like a confirmed A to B equals CD to the downside now. Yesterday, taking out the swing point. That swing, 529, was taking out 4. You've got a confirmed A to B equals CD. We'll be right back to answer David's question. David in Panama City. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So let's get back to Chipotle. We're looking at the daily time frame. David H's question was, what do we need to see in order for Chipotle to continue the downward move versus volume, which would simply fill the gap and then head back up? Well, as we mentioned before going to that break, yesterday's candle session broke the B point. The B point is at 1442. That was a trading day of October 11. That volume on that trading day did 437,000 shares. Yesterday, 529,000. Taking out that. The one-to-one price projection is 1278.87. As you know, and as you pointed out in your email, the gap would get filled at 1327.10. So at this stage here, we take a look at the daily time frame chart for Chipotle. That is telling us it wants to continue to head south and likely complete that 1-to-1 A to B equal seating to 1278 level. Turns out at 1282.74, you've got bullish structured profile support on a weekly time frame. 1254 is where you have your monthly support level. So right now, it did everything that it did yesterday suggests that it does want to head to those lower levels, at least fill the gap, probably complete the A to B equal seating pattern to the downside. So thanks so much for writing in. Hector wants to ask about the XLE. So let's put up the XLE up here right now. We'll stay on these black background charts. The XLE is doing what? The XLE just completing its measured move. That's this weekly box out here. Is there anything bearish about the XLE? Not at this stage, but Hector, if price does close today below 91.18, that would be back inside its daily profile, and that could suggest a price move back to 87.58, even 86.14. Oh, geez, I wasn't showing the charts. Here's the charts right now. So now you got these charts out there. So if you get it closed below the top of that daily profile, again, 91.18, that could easily suggest move back to 87.58. Let's close out the show by going to those white background charts. Take a look at the ES Mini out here real quickly while we've got about 15, 20 seconds to do that. Here are the white background charts. What's the ES Mini likely doing? I'd have to say right now I'd be watching the 37.20.25 level. That is a TD9 count breakout area for its 30-minute, for its 60-minute time frame. That was already tested once this morning. The question is, if it gets tested again, does it hold or does it break? But that's a TD9 count breakout level. I'd watch 37.20.25. Folks, stay tuned. We've got great programming up. Again, I'll be back with you live on Tuesday. Have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for the week. We'll see you soon.